$37 million to be the lead analyst. Sean McVay makes $15 million, and that's with a raise. If Amazon offers Sean McVay $30 million in 5 years after he's coached for 10 years in the NFL, every coach I've ever talked to says it's about a 10-year shelf life. And then you've got to, even like guys like Dick Vermeil said, you got to step away.
But Dick, the reason we always say Dick Vermeil is because Dick Vermeil is one of the few guys that ever left. I know Gruden left for a while and came back, but there's not a lot of guys
Vermeil
that leave.
Vermeil is kind of like, I'm trying to think, the guys that leave and come back and were successful.
Pat Riley did 10 years with the Lakers, left, went and did TV, got right back into it.
But go back to NFL. Let's think about coaches that were coaching, won a Super Bowl, left, came back, and were successful again. Now, Gruden is the cautionary tale and all that.
Vermeil didn't win a Super Bowl, but he played in one.
And he went. He took the Eagles in
He
1980.
took the Eagles and took the Rams.
He took the Rams after he came back.
Right after.
He went and worked with Brent Musburger on ABC
Forever.
for 10, 15 years, and then he came back.
But is he not the exception to the rule?
I think that's the McVay model. I think that's what
here's the one thing with McVay. He's 36 years old.
Yeah.
36.
Remember,
so
Bill Parcells went to ESPN after he coached the Giants.
But, John, even if he coached for 10 more years, he's 46 years old. Like, he's so young that he can get as much of this out of his system as possible. That job will always be
happen. I don't doubt that it's
going to happen. Yeah, by the way,
Demoff
told us outright. He said, we know we'll lose him to broadcast.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to lose him in the short term.
I think, you know who I think he is, Trav? I think he's Doc Rivers. I think that he's, Doc has jumped in and out of coaching and broadcasting consistently, and I think we'll continue to do it. As soon as Doc is done coaching the Sixers, he'll go right back to TV.
Yeah.
I mean, McVay's going to be one of those guys. And I mean, if you look at...
But here's the rub, though, John, and Doc had some really, really good jobs. The Celtics job is a jewel of a job. Yep. He's had really good ones. I don't know if there's a better job than the one Sean McVay has right now. They spend money. They've got a state-of-the-art stadium. They're in a huge market. He gets whatever. He's the biggest name on the team.
Got a great relationship with the front office.
Coming off the Super Bowl.
They win.
Here's the thing that, and you can ask anybody who's ever been involved in professional sports. Michael will be in here tomorrow. You can ask Michael. People that do this for a living, that do it professionally, will tell you, all of them, that the losses hurt more than you enjoy the wins. Mm-hmm. And the losing eats at you. Just because you, as a competitor, you think you're going to win every game. And only one team can win every game each year.
And you go back to that Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl in Atlanta, and he just shredded himself afterwards.
Right.
Said, I was overmatched.
He got turned inside out. I don't want to say exposed.
It said his mom and his dad and his wife,
they were worried about it.
Were driving home, and he just told him to shut the F up because he didn't want a pet talk.
But that's why.
Nothing is going to make him feel better. And I think after you've been kicked in the head enough times, and after you lose enough times, and you say, let's see, I'm making $15 million a year, and I'm miserable because I keep losing. And now I can go to the TV for $35 million.
The misery, though, John, and he said this in the piece, that I'm one of those guys that's only happy when I'm unhappy.
Right.
That there are guys that they live. The misery is what gets them going. The misery is what makes them look at what was the 206 run back or whatever the name of the play was that they kept referencing in the piece over again. That I think that the model that you're talking about is the typical model, but I think there are guys that don't fit into the typical spot, and I think he's that guy.
Well, I think the dynamic is
about it.
I think Sliwa pointed it out. He's so young. Like he's so young at this point. He's the youngest guy to ever win the Super Bowl. By the way, and the article points out, too, if he had lost the Super Bowl to the Bengals, would a two-time Super Bowl loser get hired by Amazon?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's great at it no matter what, but probably not.
The win, it's added, 50% to the bottom line or whatever the next offer might be. This morning I come in. Mm-hmm. Walk into the kitchen to make myself a cup of coffee.
Yep.
There's a pizza box in there that obviously has been there from the night before.
Okay.
It's closed. Can't see what's in the box.
Yeah.
Slee thought it was strange that I never even opened the box to see what was in it. Would you guys have opened the box?
I gotta see.
Were you hungry?
I have to look.
Well, why were you even opening it?
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. So why should he open it if he's not hungry?
You wouldn't look?
No.
You don't
have
have
I was
to.
hungry.
There's
but
stuff
if
laying
you're
around
hungry-
all over this place.
Okay, so there's a donut box that's closed.
Don't open it.
You're not going to open it?
No.
You're not going to take just a quick look?
No.
By the way, the worst move of
I'm
them
not
all.
sugar, so.
The worst move of them all. There
After
was
you
no
saw
pizza.
the blocking sled.
Yeah.
There was no pizza in it, by the way. There was.
Oh, there was no
It
pizza.
was
So,
trash.
The mystery
Just
is over.
Yeah.
we're an episode behind Better Call Saul.
I watched it last night.
I'm up to speed.
How
too.
we doing?
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah?
jeez.
Me, you
All right,
owe
we're
me,
watching
you,
it
you owe me
tonight.
some mythical money there, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
We're watching tonight. I don't want to read into anything that
Yeah,
I
don't
just did.
avoid all stories.
Okay.
Like they're hard to avoid right now. 'Cause it was it was the penultimate episode. Which
That's
is
the word I use, Slee.
Which is
What
the
I will-
second to last one.
That's
Always
What
right.
the
I
big
will
one.
say,
Penultimate.
without any specific spoilers, is people who you may have thought had small roles do not have small roles anymore.
Now Slee's going to be bummed out because I gave him something similar to that. He's
Oh,
like,
did you really?
ruined it.
No,
Well,
he gave one of the episodes. He's like, "Oh man, unbelievable! Oh, what an episode!"
That's
and there
it.
was like
Nacho dies.
and there,
nothing like that.
and then there was 3 minutes left, and it hadn't happened yet. Whenever he was talking about, I'm like, "All right, well, something's happening here.
Yeah.
Something's happening in the final 3
See,
minutes."
that's what you get for listening.
There
I
were-
told you should never listen.
There were two characters on the show that, as I was watching Better Call Saul, I thought, that can't be it for those two characters. And last night you find out it's not.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you.
I'll be home by 2:26, and I'll
You'll
be
be
done
streaming.
by 3:45. That's what's going to happen. Mason and Ireland coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the home of the Super Bowl champs.
The Vince Lombardi Trophy is staying in Rams' house.
Floating out there, and I did spend 5 minutes looking at it, and it's the same swamp that the other one was that Mace had shut down. Plus, today we're going to have Corporate Greg explain how the LA Times wrote John Mason and Steve Ireland. Now that's a good bit. Let's get to it. Mason and Ireland, your Tuesday afternoon right now.
Bergman, I'm a little disappointed that you, that you didn't already have imaging with John Mason and Steve Ireland.
So I sent it to Morales to talk about it. He's like, "You're baiting me, aren't you?"
No, do it.
Who wrote the story?
Helene Elliott.
Helene, not Helen. Helene.
I know.
Helene Elliott.
Wait a minute. I know Helene.
Okay,
or at
so
least I thought
you.
did.
So
Helene,
just
Helene thinks my name is Steve.
Okay, so just to lay out this story, there was a story by Helene Elliott in the wake of Vin Scully passing away, sort of a check-in with Bob Miller.
Right.
And they pointed out that Vin once called our show when Bob was here to congratulate him on winning the Stanley Cup or being part of the Kings as they won. So Helene Elliott, who's a wonderful writer, and
she's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she's in the Hall of Fame. She wrote this. Their respect, meaning Miller and Vin, their respect for each other was genuine and deep. The morning after the Kings won their first Stanley Cup championship in 2012, Miller and his wife Judy, on short sleep, trekked to downtown L.A. for him to be a guest on the John Mason and Steve Ireland radio show.
How is this not a drop?
Are you effing kidding me?
It's amazing to me.
Helene Elliott
is like one of the best writers alive.
She's like, did she transpose? Did she really not know who we are?
I say hi to her every time I see her.
She says, "Hi, Steve."
Yeah, so she thinks my name is Steve. If she does think my name is Steve, I'm not correcting her. I think that would be a really good bit. I know her husband. Her husband Dennis is the historian for the Knicks.
Wow, and she obviously do not know the history of this radio show.
Or me. Mace, I'm not kidding. I've known Helene Elliott for 20 years.
Really?
And she thinks my name is Steve. This is very eye-opening.
Well, you should call Helene.
I might.
Do you have Helene's number?
Let me look.
Well, we just want to gently acknowledge. And don't they have a section of the paper where you can get corrections? Like I want there to be.
No. I think this is. We should milk this for all it's worth.
Yeah, you shouldn't go full on.
No, we don't want
John
him to
Mason,
correct
Steve
it.
Ireland.
Yeah, and if we see Helene, I'm going to say, "Hey, Helene." No, does she think I'm John Mason?
She thinks you're John Mason.
No, does she think I'm Steve Ireland?
Oh, you're Steve Ireland. I'm sorry, you're Steve Ireland. I'm John Mason.
Oh, wait, no, but she knows you as John, so maybe you are John Mason.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, so she's got your first name right.
I do not have her cell phone.
Now, do you have the balls to say hi, Helen?
No. I like her.
There's no reason to.
Greg, this
Helen
is
her.
example number 761 of a woman who I like who doesn't like me.
Has no idea who you are.
Not only doesn't like me, has absolutely no idea what my name is. I mean, this is priceless.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I'm not kidding. I've said hi to Helene for 20 years.
I always, by the way, when you sent it this morning, I'm like, well, this must be from back when we had Vin. No, this was just written, right?
No, today.
This is today's
today. It was written today.
Unbelievable.
So, what's the consensus? Am I to her?
Yeah.
Am I John Mason or am I Steve Ireland? She says hi, John. So she must think I'm
You're
John
Mason. Yeah. Now, here's my big question.
No, wait a minute. Here's the thing we got to do.
Okay.
Next time you and I are both in the Chickern press room and Helene is there, I'll say, Helene, you know John, right? Or do I say, you know Steve?
Right.
Steve Ireland. What does she think your name is?
She thinks my name is
Steve Ireland.
Steve Ireland, right.
Now, so which is worse, getting your names mixed up or thinking that you're one person? Mason Ireland.
That was the Max Kellerman thing. Max Kellerman, the very first day he was in L.A., I saw him at Christmas Day at the Chickern press room across the street at a Lakers, I think, Cavs game. And Max, I introduced myself to Max because I knew he was going to be on Afternoon Drive, and I said, Max, Steve Mason Ireland. He goes, yeah, Mason Ireland. He thought my name was Mason Ireland.
Okay, I do have her husband's cell phone.
Okay.
What can we do with that?
Call him up.
No, do we want
text him and say, "Hey, can we call Helene?"
But wait a minute. Do we? I want the bit to last as long as possible.
Oh, okay.
If we call Helene, don't we end the bit?
Oh, yes. I guess we do.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So how do we do it?
Well, I want to find out if like she really thinks that your name,
or if she just made an honest mistake.
Right.
And doesn't the paper have a correction section where they say on such and such a day?
Yeah, but do we want a correction?
Something to do.
Or do we want to? I think we
correction.
should just I'm not kidding. I think we should reimage the show. I think it should be
Chris, get on it.
John Mason, Steve Ireland.
As long as the show is still Mason and Ireland,
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
Exactly.
Hey, you should lock out like that every break.
What?
This is what'd you say? Steve Ireland and
John Mason and Steve Ireland.
710
Steve
ESPN.
Ireland.
ESPN LA.
Yeah, Stephen John. Stephen John. Hey, Steve John. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. That's the most random thing in the world. So Bob Nightingale's a very well-known writer. You probably know him. And he's got a unique speech pattern. And when he calls in, he'll always say, hey, Steve. Hey, John.
Yeah.
So now, for some reason, Jorge every day. Hey, Steve. Hey, John. Hey, John. Hey, Steve. It's the Bob Nightingale impression.
But isn't that weird? Like you think you have a cordial professional relationship with someone, and then you find out they have no idea.
They have no idea.
Is.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you upset?
No, I think it's.
You think it's good?
I think it can be.
How tight are you with Helene?
Apparently not at all. But next time I see her, I don't know if I should bring it up or just let the bit live.
Just ask her, what's my full name?
What's my name? Say my name, Helene. Say my name.
Wow. I'm shocked that she wrote it. I thought it was just somebody who didn't know us.
I mean, are you offended at all that you've been doing this for 25 years in L.A. and people still have no idea what your actual name is?
Say my name.
There you go. Say my name. John Mason.
And by the way,
No, you're Steve Ireland.
Bergman,
my name,
you
Steve
sold
Ireland.
me. I've been doing it for 27 years.
Oh, sorry.
And I think I met Helene in year 1 or 2
Yeah.
at like a King's Media Day.
Sure.
So you've been
But I had
John
that,
Mason.
like I do with most women, I obviously had a very everlasting impression
you
on
really,
Helene Elliott.
You made your mark. You made your mark with
Say
Helene.
my name.
Say my name.
Should I just have that as a drop on my phone and just randomly play
John
it?
Ireland, Steve Mason.
No, when I walk by her, just hit that and just keep walking.
Right. It would be John Mason
Mason.
and Steve Ireland.
Right. So who's first, though? Is it Steve
Mason
Ireland?
comes first.
You want them? Okay.
But
so
then-
you want your first name.
So
first.
then it can't be Steve and John. It's got to be John and Steve.
Right.
Because I'm John Mason.
So what's more important, the first name or the last
The
name?
last
The last
name-
names are more
last
important.
names are more important.
Because the show's Mason and Ireland.
Mason is my moneymaker.
So John Mason is the headliner.
Yeah, John Mason is going to be my new alias. I'm going to use that like when I check into hotels. I don't want people to find me.
Hey, Oklahoma
So that
City.
way you guys can find me.
Yeah, we'll know.
Yeah, you call, say, yeah, what room is John Mason in?
Exactly. We'll know exactly. Do you use a fake name?
No, but the players all do.
The players all do.
Yeah.
What's the cleverest one you've ever heard? Or do you
Ron
know?
Mexico.
No. Okay, so if you put some thought into these, you can figure them out. Mm-hmm. For example, Shaq, if you wanted to find Shaq when he traveled with us,
Yep.
he had deals with Pepsi and he had deals with Microsoft. Those were two of his big sponsors. So if you look at our room list, it would say, in one of the rooms, it would say Enrico Gates.
Enrico Gates.
And I just happen to know that the CEO of Pepsi was Roger Enrico and the CEO of Microsoft was Bill Gates. So that's Shaq.
Wow.
There was another one, Walter Elias. You know who that is?
Walter Elias. Walt.
Does that ring a bell with anybody?
No.
That's the name of Kobe's maternal grandfather. And so if you wanted Kobe, you'd go down the room list. It'd say Walter Elias. That's Kobe. So if you knew a certain thing about somebody, like I can't give any of the current ones, but those were like the ones they'd use in the past. Shaq one time, I didn't see Enrico Gates on the list. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking, I'm going, well, it's got to be one of these. And then I see it says Sirius Black. And so I see Shaq in the hallway, and I go, "Are you Sirius Black?" He goes, "Yeah, man." I go, "Okay." He goes, "I'm a serious black man." I went, "Okay, now I know." So they come up with different ones all the time.
I want to let everybody know this. Lie of the Day is back for the rest of the week. And it's cool prize. Next Tuesday night, me, Travis, Sliwa, Jacob Amrani, Bergman, Jorge, you coming? We're all going to be at LAFC in a sweet and we're giving away sweet passes to see LAFC versus DC United next Tuesday night at the Bank. Here's how you win. Listen for Lie of the Day. At some point today, I will tell a lie. If you can figure out what it is and call in at 3:30, you will win. This is all courtesy of Jacob and Ronnie. Everybody loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but calljacob.com is here for you when you need a big win after an accident. Go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Hey, guys, all the beer and food and the sweet is on me.
It's on them, isn't it? On the LAFC?
I guess it is.
It's already there.
I was going to volunteer, but all right.
Maybe if you tell them your name is Steve Ireland, Helene will buy you a drink.
Exactly. Hey, Helene. All right, so coming up next for you, really fascinating article written by Seth Wickersham of ESPN about Sean McVay, taking us sort of inside his mind, for lack of a better way to describe it, what goes on in the mind of Sean McVay. We'll get that with Seth coming up next for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Okay, if you are
but at
it's now correct.
At Jay writes, LA Times fixed it. By the way, this is interesting. So last night I was watching. We will not give away anything from Better Call Saul last night, but I want to ask you something.
It's good.
Juan said to me last night, "Why are you watching a black and white show?" It is interesting that so much of the series has now turned into sort of that sepia tone black and white.
Well, did you notice the distinction?
Oh, of course, yeah. I did.
Okay, so they used it as a mechanism when they're in...
When it's Gene.
Right. It's black and white.
Right.
Or when he's in Omaha at Cinnabon and being Gene Takovic, it is black and white. And when he's Saul Goodman in Albuquerque, it's in color.
Yeah. It was, but some people are like, I love Better Call Saul, but I don't like watching black and white episodes. Wait, listen, this is a brilliantly constructed show, and the black and white is necessary to tell the difference in time periods. All right. And that leads us naturally to our next guest.
Well, this article on Sean McVay
is great.
It's fantastic, and it's written by Seth Wickersham, who is as good at writing long-form features as anybody, and Seth, nice enough to join us now. Seth, thank you for doing this, man. The article's great. How much time did you spend with McVay before you wrote it?
Hey, guys, thank you. How much did I? I don't know. I visited him in April, May, June, and July. So
at least four different occasions. It just seems super. It seems like it's really in depth, really great. There's a bunch of stuff we want to ask you about. Here's the first thing I want to ask you. I, like McVay, Seth, don't sleep. I'm one of those guys that sleeps 3-4 hours a night unless I take something or do something radical. Do you think that helps or hurts Sean as a coach, that he's up a lot at night and his mind is always racing? What do you think?
I just think it is. It's like an obstacle to navigate around. I don't think that he would necessarily love to be up at night all the time, but that's just kind of who he is. And I think that, it's also a byproduct of this, generally spectacularly unhealthy profession that he chose. But, it's something that he doesn't like being sort of labeled as someone who is indifferent to sleep. I think that he is trying to find ways to be at his best on game day, knowing that, after games and Monday and Tuesday nights, sleep might not be easy, but as the week goes on, I think he banks more sleep so that he feels like on game day that he can, make good decisions and he's well rested.
No, that's interesting. So you wrote here, he isn't the first to suffer the game's mental mind blank. He says, I can't distance myself from the game. How do you think he copes with that? What are his coping strategies when you're talking about being under pressure all the time?
Yeah, and so much of it is internal pressure and internal expectations, right? Do you live up to yourself? I think that he tries to exercise. I think that's one thing that's very clear. He often exercises, pretty early in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. He'll work out and grab a workout like either at his house or at the facility. But I think that his life partner, Veronica, has helped him a lot. And the way that she sort of handles Sean, I think, is a really interesting dynamic in that she's incredibly supportive and patient, but not caught up in the game the way that he is. So in a weird way, it's like, she's very steady. And even Sean's mom, Cindy, told Veronica that, she might have been a better mother to Sean if she handled games more like Veronica does, where, she cares about football because it's what Sean cares about. And obviously it's how he makes his living. But, her identity, her essence, her happiness is not at the whim of the game the way that Sean's is. And I think that the way that she handles him, which is often by not doing anything, not saying anything. She told me that sometimes after games, even after wins, he just wants to be around people, but he doesn't really want anybody asking him any questions. I think it's just something that she's learned how to navigate well, and I think that it helps Sean cope like we said, in this crazy job that he, as an elite coach, has made crazier.
We're talking to Seth Wickersham, who has a great article on ESPN.com about Sean McVay, and you can read it right now on the site. Seth, how seriously do you think Sean considered the overture from Amazon, which was obviously a ton of money? We know they talked. I'm assuming some type of an offer was presented. I don't know if it ever got that far, but they were definitely interested. How seriously did he take it, in your opinion?
But I just don't think he was ready, and I don't know if he ever will be. I think he likes thinking about broadcasting as a way to stay connected to the game, but maybe have a chance to have a little bit more peace and a little bit more of a life. But in the same sense, like I wrote in the piece, sometimes when he talks about broadcasting, it's like he's saying it out loud, not so that we can consider it, but maybe just so that he can say it out loud and see how it feels to say. And, he never took a meeting with Amazon after this season. I think he was always going to return. And even though he likes the idea at times of broadcasting, I just don't know if he's going to ever find the fulfillment that he would in coaching. Some of the Rams guys joke with him that, if he had to broadcast a bad game between two bad teams, he might just kill every player, every coach, every decision, and just sort of like burn every bridge and get himself back to the sideline where, he's most comfortable. And we were talking about it at one point he said that, he always wanted to win the Super Bowl, and obviously being a young coach, he would know that he would be a young coach winning a Super Bowl.
Apple Watch? Do you like it?
Goal of winning the Super Bowls ever, the most games ever? No. And he said, now what that says about me, I don't know.
Yeah, I need a watch, and I'm looking at Apple Watches, and I just want to know, what the right one. Which one is it?
I'm 60 years old.
What is it, Series 8?
Still effing coaching. I think he just knows that.
I have no idea what
and that's his identity.
It sounds like Seth Wickersham from ESPN is with us. Wrote a great piece on Sean McVay, Mason, and Ireland.
So a Series 4 and a Series 7 are the same?
You write in the piece here that Rams executives stunned at how McVay, after being jovial all
7,
seemed to switch personality as soon as the games actually began. What is that?
Not $1,000. What were they like $300?
Full personality. How does he really go into a completely different mode?
I think that we all have multiple personalities, and he definitely does. I think that was when he first was hired, and the offseason goes on, and the Rams are obviously everybody who runs an NFL team are used to maniacally driven coaches and all of the benefits and the costs that come along with that. And sure enough, when the season started during Sean's first season, he proved to be that way too. I mean, he was incredibly driven, and as he told me, he was like, ignorance was bliss for him.
When did they say?
Because in a way, he was kind of a glorified offensive coordinator who was really trying to set a new culture. He wasn't in the weeds on special teams, on defense, on contracts, on personnel, all these things. And if he had known all of the
say when
the headaches of the job, for lack of a better word, that he knows now, he doesn't know if he would have made it.
I want it before Carlo's wedding.
And remember, the Rams led the league in offense and made the playoffs that year. There was one moment at practice where Matt LaFleur,
I can wait,
coordinator, now the Green Bay coach, was having a teaching disagreement with Aaron Cromer, who was the offensive line coach. Sean comes in, settles the disagreement, and moves on, not really thinking much of it. And later that day, LaFleur comes to him, and he says, I'm summarizing this, but he basically says, you didn't back me in front of the players, and you should just fire my ass right now. And he says, with all due respect, you should just fire my ass right now. And Sean is just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, we're about to make the playoffs, and Matt's complaining about this, and he replies by saying, I hate this job. I hate what it's making me do to people. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to resign. That's it. And Matt's like, no, you can't resign, man. And it was a funny story, but it was indicative of the stress that Sean was under during that first year, even if by Rams standards to that point, it was a fabulously successful season. And he was a terrific head coach as a rookie.
We're talking with Seth Wickersham, who has written the best article about Sean McVay I've ever read. It's on ESPN.com right now. It's on the NFL page. It's at the very top. You should go read it. Last thing from me, Seth, you've mentioned a couple of guys. Matt LaFleur is now the coach in Green Bay. Zach Taylor, who he beat in the Super Bowl, is the coach in Cincinnati. Brandon Staley is the coach of the Chargers. These are all guys that Sean hired to be on his staff. I know all these guys, you want to see your staff grow and get opportunities and be head coaches. But is he kind of getting tired of that? I mean, I don't think he would ever say it because he doesn't want to step on another guy's opportunity. But nobody's staff gets rated like his. I mean, they keep coming for these guys every single year, and now they're all over the league. How does that sit with Sean?
I think it's one of those things that he takes as a compliment. I think that if Raheem Morris got hired to be a head coach next year, he would be so happy. And, every coach likes certainty, right? They don't like, having to deal with change and constant change. But Sean's kind of used to it. And I think that one of the most impressive things about him is that, like you said, his staff does get rated every year, and he's been able to continue winning and improve the team each year despite a lack of continuity among his assistant coaches. And I think that the defensive performance last year was a great example of that. Obviously, Staley leaves. Raheem Morris comes in. The defense is better than it was a year earlier. And as I wrote in my story, Raheem ended up being a counselor to Sean to really help him pull out of the negative headspace that he was in November when the Rams went 0-3. And so I think that Sean gets a lot from his staff, and if people end up changing and because they move on to better things, I think that he's proven pretty good at identifying, young coaches or coaches to come in and fill those roles and even add to them like Coach Morris did this past year.
Hey, listen, Seth, strongly recommend the article. It's a great piece of work. Congratulations on it, and really fun talking to you, man.
My pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Seth.
Seth Wickersham from ESPN. It is a great. If you're a Rams fan, you got to check that out because it takes you really inside the mind and what's going on inside Coach Sean McVay's mind.
Hey, is this surprise of yours happening at 2 o'clock?
It's going to happen.
Okay.
I don't want to oversell. It's a surprise, but I don't want to oversell. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to turn your world upside down.
Okay.
Might rock it a little.
I don't know. My life's pretty boring. It could turn my life upside
down. It very well
down.
could.
I mean, Helene Elliott thinks my name is John Mason.
John Mason.
So,
all right, coming up next for you, going to spin the wheel of questions. Then we got that little surprise coming up at 2 o'clock. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Let me tell you about Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. For over 30 years, Valvoline has provided
Radio. Mason and Ireland here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Wheel of Questions is presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Got a car that's just sitting around not being used? Bring it to Puente Hills Toyota today for an instant cash offer. Puente Hills Toyota, the house of yes. Producer Jorge, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it.
Okay, this is a hygiene question.
Hygiene, okay. I've got excellent hygiene.
What would you do if you went to a public restroom, you had to, how can I phrase this? Let's say go number 2, and you discovered there's no toilet paper.
Oh.
How do you handle it, Jorge?
You know what? There's those little seat covers or whatever. I'll use the seat covers.
Bingo.
Public restroom, though? Like at the beach? They don't even have them there.
Those seat cover things, though, do work. They do work. And
I
they
think,
flush down okay.
Personally,
yeah.
Pair of underwear is getting scrapped.
You know what?
I'm scrapping the underwear and just going commando.
That's a pretty good plan. Yeah. That's
Bergman,
or
what's your plan?
If you're at the beach, then you just go into the ocean.
Wait a minute.
You just put him at the beach.
Yeah,
so
you put me at the beach.
Yeah,
if I'm at the beach,
yeah, true that.
I'm just going to clean off the ocean. It's like my own bidet.
Wait a minute though. So you put your pants back on, and then go out to the beach.
I would take if I'm on the beach, I'm already in board shorts.
Yeah, okay, we get it.
All right, Mace, what do you do?
What do you mean you get?
I don't need any further.
We can go.
Well,
further.
there's another tentacle of this. Okay, let's say Bergman, you're at the beach, you're in the ocean, big wave hits.
Okay,
you lose your bathing suit.
Uh-oh.
It's gone.
Oh boy,
what do you do?
Get out and walk to my towel.
Naked. You put on a show for the people.
What do you do? Grab kelp? What can you possibly do?
There's not much
seaweed.
Options
There's
here.
some carefully placed seaweed here.
Seaweed is actually not a bad plan.
Yeah.
Just go searching for
also,
rocks.
I think you cut a deal with a kid in the water.
No. What kind of deal do you cut?
Kind of deal
this. You say to the kid. Now, let's assume you don't have friends on the beach. You're by yourself.
Yeah, you're solo. Right.
You say, hey, kid, see tower number 12 over there?
Mm-hmm.
Right next to it is a blue and white towel. All right?
Oh, okay.
That's my towel.
Yep.
I need you to go get it and bring it back to me in the water.
What's in it for the kid?
$10.
$10. Oh, yeah. Kids will do that.
You know what you say? Stranger danger. Absolutely not.
Mom!
You're absolutely right.
Mom, some guy wants me to steal a towel.
Some guy wants me to get his towel for $10. That sounds very
Mason, what do you do?
Sounds awful.
Yeah, that does sound terrible. I didn't think that through. And by the way, if anyone asked, that idea came from John Mason. Mason. Exactly. All right, Mace, what do you do if you're using the public restroom and there's no toilet paper? What's your play?
You've got the right idea. With
Scrap the underwear?
Scrap the underwear. Yeah, I've actually been in that situation before. Is
that what you did?
And I did scrap the underwear, yeah.
You have to scrap the
underwear. You have to scrap the underwear. I'll tell you a story, though. When I was in Egypt, I was in Cairo, Egypt.
Okay.
And the whole time I was in Egypt, it's a very... people always want something from you when you're in a country like that. So I go to the can at the airport, and I have a seat, and I do my business, and then all of a sudden I get this knock on the door. My good American friend, would you like to buy some toilet paper? And I bought toilet paper. I had to buy toilet paper to get out of the airport.
You got scammed.
I got completely scammed. Yeah, that guy's been running that for a while.
Scammed.
All right, so there you have it. There's a little hygiene action for you. So, actually, let's do this. We found a actually really cool piece of audio from Case Keenum. Did you get the Case Keenum sound? No, didn't get that. We'll have it for you later on, the Case Keenum sound.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for the Case Keenum sound.
In the meantime, Dan Campbell, who's the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
He's at it again, Mace. Remember, this was the guy that said he was going to be biting kneecaps. So now this was at the start of training camp this week, and Dan Campbell, I don't understand this, but maybe one of you guys will. Yeah. He's talking to the Lion fans up in the stands.
Sure.
And I think he's just trying to fire them up.
Yeah.
And he said this.
This team is working their rear off to give you something to be proud of. All right, they're grinding it out right now. And I know this, we are freaking starving. We are starving. So the hyenas better get out of the way.
Exactly. Hyenas out of the way.
What does that mean?
Okay, so do you really not understand?
I don't.
Or are you just playing along?
No, I do not. Is a hyena somebody that hangs around lions?
Yeah, so when an animal takes down like a bear, let's say, or whatever big game thing, they eat. And then what happens is the hyenas come in, and then they pick over the scraps.
Okay.
So what he's saying is, we're going to eat all of it. We're not going to let any of it wait for the hyenas because we're hungry.
That's a long way to go.
Am I making sense here?
No, you're making sense, but that's a long way for Dan Campbell to go. Hyenas better get out of the way because we hungry.
You've never seen The Lion King?
Yeah, the hyenas.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. What are their names? Timon and
Timon and Pumbaa are not.
What are those
lions.
from?
The same movie.
Same movie, but
they were a warthog and a.
Yeah. Look, I like this Dan Campbell guy. I know everybody's banging on him. Everybody thinks Dan Campbell's a rube, but I actually really like him. He gives us interesting stuff. He's a obviously fiery guy. He's chewing off kneecaps and he's punching hyenas and all that kind of stuff. I say, if I'm a Lions fan, give me something to root for. Pump me up.
We're going to kick you in the teeth. All right, and when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, all right? And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down, all right? And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap.
Yep,
and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. So the hyenas better get out of the way.
Does this hold less weight when you consider that Jared Goff is their quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it does. It does hurt your cause. It does hurt your cause. Is Jared Goff? I'm not up on Lions. Is he still their quarterback?
Yeah,
they're still paying him a whole bunch of money.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, Jared Goff.
I find it hard to take
those Lions fans
Dan
need something
Campbell
to root for.
seriously.
I like Dan Campbell. Stop picking on Dan Campbell. Just because he's fiery and emotional, you don't like him.
I think he's in over his head.
Yeah.
He's over his skis.
He's over his skis. All right, coming up next, got a surprise. Small. I don't want to oversell. I got a small surprise for everybody.
You found me an heiress?
Did not find you an heiress.
Don't give up, Greg.
But the heiress line is open, 877-710-ESPN. If you are an heiress with a bank account that can be checked.
If you don't have a trust fund, no need apply.
Yeah.
All right. We're talking serious cash here.
Serious money.
Bergman married for love the first time, and it didn't work. So now we're going hard on money.
So sad. All right. We will do that surprise coming up next for you, Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN. and we are getting ready for Dodgers back in action. Boy, the Dodgers the stuff is just unbelievable on the Dodgers. If you start looking at them in a historical perspective, right now the Dodgers have won. Where is this? They've won 11 of 12. They've won 30 of 35.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
They were 21-5 in July, and they're undefeated in August. They're home to the Twins tonight for a 2-game series tonight and tomorrow night, and then day off, so 2 days off this week. Then they go to Kansas City for the weekend, where you imagine they're going to make some hay. All right, so we were talking about something a couple of weeks ago, and I decided, you know what? We should have that. We should have one of those.
Okay.
So I went out and had one of these things made for everybody. Now go ahead and open.
Okay.
Everybody's got envelopes that they're going to open right now. John is opening his envelope, and
it is.
It is.
Oh my gosh! It's a chain.
It's a chain
with jewelry on it that has my initial.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, it's a CG for Corporate Greg,
Corporate
which
Greg,
is
yeah.
awesome.
I'm wearing this right now.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I'm wearing. You did not undersell this. This is an excellent item.
This is so.
I was going to wear something like this with my Russell Westbrook outfit at the Mandy's.
It would have been perfect.
I will wear this to the Mandy's next year.
Oh, I'm wearing this to the Mandy's.
I'm wearing this every day.
Oh, you got to take off your hat.
You got to take the hat off, man.
Take off my hat. I think it slides on. I think I tried this at home.
Okay.
Okay, so we're putting on our chains. This is our
dummy.
Would you call it?
Now. Okay.
There it is.
All right. So my chain still needs to be connected. This is excellent, though.
There you go.
This is excellent. Thank you, Mace.
So you know what this means?
Gangster.
What?
Gangster.
We're gangster.
It means.
That's what it means.
No, it means we're all ballers.
Oh yeah.
We are ballers. That's exactly right. We are ballers. So Ireland, you got J.I. I was trying to figure out the letters. Jorge, you just got your name, right? There was a limit on letters, and I thought CG was the best one for Corporate Greg.
I love this one. CG is amazing.
Because you gotta, if you're in this business, you gotta have a chain.
Exactly.
You gotta have a chain.
All right, so I have to figure out how to connect this chain.
Yeah, I'm having trouble figuring out.
Well, you guys are doing it, and there'll be pictures for social media. I'll let you know that we're doing live the day today. We're giving away sweet passes for 1 week from tonight. The LAFC versus DC United at the Bank of California Stadium. Here's how you win. I'm going to tell a lie at some point today. If you can figure it out, you will join us with a pair of tickets to party with me, Travis Sliwa, Jacob and Ronnie, Bergman, Jorge.
Quinn, connect those for me.
Plus, everybody will qualify to win sideline passes. Everybody loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anybody can fight, but call Jacob.com. He's here for you to win after an accident. Go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. I think we are in Jacob's box next Tuesday night.
Oh, for the soccer game.
Oh, we can wear our chains to the game.
You guys all should wear your chains to the game.
Yeah, that's
on the
what
outside.
I'm talking
Thank
about.
you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Quinn, our intern who's leaving us this week.
Yeah, Quinn is going away.
Just hooked up my chain, and oh yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm all over this.
Oh my God, you can wear that when you wear a suit to Lakers games.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you should.
I absolutely am.
You
and
totally
just,
should.
Okay, with the caveat that I will not explain it. I'll just wear it, and if anyone asks me about it, I'll go, "It's my chain, man."
Yeah, it's my chain.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's my chain.
It's my chain. I remember Maurice Taylor, the Clippers had a player
Sure.
who played in Michigan.
Yep.
I interviewed him when he got drafted, and
Yep.
I said, so wait, man, you just got this huge contract, you got all this money. What are you going to do with it all? He goes, I'm pretty conservative. I don't need much. And, it's just going to go into the bank, and I'm going to save it. I go, so I'm not going to see you with a giant chain of an M here a year from now. And he starts off, he goes, no, that's not me. Literally. A year later, giant diamond M.
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
like this.
That's awesome.
If anyone asks, it's real.
It's real. These are real. Absolutely. All right, so that was fun. I like that. We'll show up in some pictures on social media with that. Bergman, you in?
Yeah.
Jorge, you in? Oh, Jorge looks really cool. Bergman, CG looks really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So wait, let's pick a day that we all have to wear these during the week. And someone to talk?
I'll talk. I can
Greg,
talk.
Greg's saying, let's take a picture.
No, I can
We're
talk.
in the middle of a freaking show.
We got a mic here. So we got to get a photo for social. Everybody's got a chain now. I think the idea came because somebody was wearing a really expensive. Ronald Acuna Jr. was wearing an expensive chain at the All-Star game.
You made a mistake.
What?
Shouldn't mine say J.M.?
Oh, for John Mason, exactly.
Okay, Quinn.
All right, Quinn, let's do her up.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Serious face. Come on, you guys are all smiling, wearing your chains.
Yes, we're happy. Wait a minute, you want a really angry look? Angry look for the chains? All right.
We'll have a little bit of dead air. It's okay.
Right here. No, I got it. We're talking. Here we go. Got it.
All right, awesome. Nice.
No smiles whatsoever.
Yeah, none.
Brady,
none.
you wish you had a chain like this, don't you?
Yeah, poor Brady. Didn't get the chain.
You know, these interns have all been excellent.
They've been fantastic.
And we're losing all of them.
Yeah, Quinn, Brady, Amata, and
Parker.
Parker, who's a
they've all
really
been great.
good guy. Yeah.
And I asked Quinn, I said, did we talk you out of, like, pursuing the radio business? She's like, nope.
No. I should mention, too, these are paid internships.
Right.
These guys got to do they were at all of our events. They did the Mandy's. They did the softball game. They've done all of our promotions and events. I mean, you guys got the full experience.
And they're looking for the next crop of interns. Is that on our, Greg, is that on our social page?
Yes,
for people to apply?
And
okay.
Even so, we're going to have Quinn come on at 2:30 and talk all about it.
Oh, okay, good.
good.
We'll do that. So, hey, let me ask you this. So the Padres have now lost 5 in a row.
I know. It's like since they had a big night when those guys all debuted.
Yes.
And now
they can't. They lost 1-0 last night. Right. They're not scoring.
I think they're shell-shocked. I think
a great night.
Yeah, I think next year is going to be the year when they get to T-SPAC and they can set their rotation. Next year will be the year that they've got something. They could get hot this year and make a run.
Not a 15-game.
They'd be in the playoffs if the season ended today.
Correct. They have a one-game lead over Milwaukee for the last wild card.
My thought is that next year is going to be when you have to take them seriously.
But I think
I'm not taking them all that seriously this year.
But do you not think they're in the playoffs?
I do.
Yeah, I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And by the way, you get in. It's funny. That's what Les Snead was talking about yesterday. The tournament. You get into the tournament and you've got a shot. I never really thought about that in NFL ways, but if you think about it, so much has to go right for you to win a championship. And that's why Les Snead talked about the tournament. All you can do is get into the playoffs with a chance. I always talk to Juan about this. The one thing I want is to be in it at the end. To have a shot to win the Super Bowl is like the single most important thing.
And baseball and football, to me, feel like you have more of a chance if you just get in. Basketball,
Correct.
if you're the 8th seed,
you're not beating the 1.
You need a lot of luck.
Yeah. If you're
you were living in New York the year the Knicks were an 8 seed and made it to the finals, but then their luck finally ran out.
Exactly.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it is really hard.
Matter of
to
fact,
do.
in the NBA, the team that Houston, one of the years that Houston won in the 90s, they were a 6th seed.
Yep.
But that's the lowest seed that's ever won.
Right.
Or would it be the highest seed?
But wasn't that a year that Elijah was hurt and then came back and that's why they won?
He was the reason they won.
Right. But did he miss part of the season? Is that why they were 6?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was a really good team. Maybe somebody was
Clyde
injured.
Drexler and Kenny Smith and Robert Horry and all those dudes.
Exactly. See, I always think that if this is where it's gone wrong for the Padres, and I don't know who the team leadership is or anything like that, but I mean, they just made a huge investment in you as a team. In other words, a lot of times you go to the trade deadline, and teams, when they don't do anything, they're like deflated. Well, here they did everything, and they're 1-5. It's because they're the Padres.
You think that's it?
I do. Peter Seidler is the owner of the Padres.
Well, you know how he's related to us.
Oh, well, he's Peter O'Malley's.
Right. He's like, he grew up a huge Dodger fan.
He says
Peter O'Malley's grandson.
He says the Padres are trying
might be
to
his nephew. I'd have
trying
to, look it
to
up.
slay the dragon up the freeway.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck with that sticking too.
They've played last 17 times they've played.
Yep.
Dodgers won 15. So, I mean, there's not much slaying going on.
No.
And I'd be worried if my highest paid player, Manny Machado, is a terrible example for the rest of the team.
Well, I don't know. Did you see the highlight from last night?
Did he do it again? Did he lollygag again?
He thought he hit a bomb, stood there and admired it, hit the wall, wound up on first.
Yeah, he ain't going to be Johnny Hustle. No. He's already told us that.
Long-ass single off the wall. Stop admiring your fly balls, essentially is what the message was from last night. You know, we were talking about Juan Soto and the Dodgers. J.P. Hoornstra from who's Hoornstra work for? Hoornstra?
I think he's with the Southern California News Group, the same people that Bill Plunkett works for. I think. I could be wrong.
He said, and I want to kind of throw this out to Dodger fans, hardcore Dodger fans. This was the deal for Soto, what it would have looked like.
Okay.
Diego Cartaya, catcher, number one prospect. Bobby Miller, pitcher. Then 3 of Ryan Pepio, Miguel Vargas, Michael Busch, Andy Pages, and Michael Grove. So 3 of those 5.
3 of the top 10 prospects, yeah.
And then 3 wild card minor leaguers of their choice.
Well, you know me. I go to the school of Les Snead. F them picks. To me, you're trading basic.
F them picks.
Yeah, you're trading
6 minor leaguers for.
I would have done it.
Juan Soto. Would I have done that?
I would have done it. You know who needs to do a deal like that? Is the Angels. I was looking it up. The Angels have the 27th ranked minor league system in baseball. And I think the 4th worst record in the major leagues.
Sounds about right.
So they desperately need to rebuild. I know you're like, I'd never trade Trout, I'd never trade Ohtani, but what hope do they have if they don't rebuild? They got to do something.
I'm going to quote you. Star-driven town, star effing driven town.
But they're not really in L.A.
Star effing driven town.
We've talked more about the Angels this year than in any other year, mostly because of Ohtani.
Right. But if they finish last in their division.
And they're going to.
What good is Ohtani?
Well, you got one more shot.
Yeah.
You got one more shot to build something around him. And by the way, teams do turn around. If Artie Moreno were to break the bank, go into the luxury tax situation, and go in and sign some starting pitching, I think the Angels could be competitive next year and potentially a playoff team. And as they say, get into the tournament. But if you're a Dodger fan, would you have done that deal? Again,
I would have.
It was Juan Soto for Diego Cartaya, Bobby Miller, 3 of Ryan Pepio, Miguel Vargas, Michael Busch, Andy Pages, Michael Grove, plus 3 wild card minor leaguers. So that's a total of 1, 2, 5, 6 minor leaguers.
Well, let me put this caveat in. I would have done it.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of in Andrew Friedman we trust here. Because Andrew Friedman has done nothing but nail it ever since he's been here.
Yes.
Bergman, how long has Friedman been the GM of the day? Is he up to 10 years now?
2015? 2014?
Sounds right.
When did Frank McCourt
when the Guggenheim group came in.
Yeah, it was all the same time.
I think he's been there 8 to 10 years, and he consistently nails it. So if he thinks that's a bad deal, and it's not worth trading those guys, then I just assume he knows more than I do, and I trust him. You know, his track record
is impeccable.
Is fantastic, and there's just no reason not to trust him. And I think that if Friedman is at the controls,
yep,
you gotta just go with it.
Okay, Bergman, would you have done the trade?
I would have done the trade. Even for all that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I would have done it. Because you put in Juan Soto at 23. All those guys, we don't know what those guys are going to become.
That's the thing. The only part of the deal that would bother me is giving away that much.
It's a lot.
That much pitching.
Sure, you're giving away a lot of stuff
pitching.
In there. Yeah, you're giving away a lot of stuff, but to get somebody like Juan Soto to be here every single day, to be in the outfield with Cody Bellinger and
he's
Mookie
23.
Betts. Yeah, and 23. Yeah, I'm doing the trade.
You know, it's funny. I sent this out on Twitter earlier, and a lot of Dodger fans are like, no, that's way too much. Way too much. Those are the Dodger fans that know all the farm system, know everybody that's on the
right,
on
and
the
we
farm
don't.
and all those.
Obviously, Friedman does.
I mean, I know who these guys are generally, but it's not like I've been scouting Diego Cartaya. But if you're a Dodger fan, would you have made that deal? Would you have gone all in on that? Give up 6 minor leaguers and all in your top 10, 6 of your 10 best prospects, maybe? Is that something you would do? 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. Plus, as promised, Case Keenum doing funny stuff at Bills camp. We got that coming up for you, too. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason in Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason in Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
All right, so we're talking about the Juan Soto trade. Obviously, Juan Soto went to the Padres at the trade deadline, and J.P. Hornstra has got a list of guys that the Dodgers would have had to give up for Juan Soto, and the list is like this: Diego Cartaya, Bobby Miller, then 3 from this group: Ryan Pepio, Miguel Vargas, Michael Bush, Andy Pages, Michael Grove, plus 3 wild card minor leaguers, including Bobby Diego. Bobby Diego is the guy that I would not give up no matter what. He would be an untouchable.
Do you even know who Bobby Diego is?
Yeah, I do.
Who is he?
He's a double-A.
What's he do?
Pitcher.
Yeah, I'd give up any of those guys.
Yeah, no,
for Juan Soto?
No, that's the one guy I would not give up. I put other things in the package, but not that. Let's see what you guys think. Let's go to Mitch. Hey, it's our friend Mitch in Jersey. Mitch, what are you doing, man?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call. I am glad they didn't make that trade. I'm sorry you and John don't agree, or Greg, but you don't know if you're going to have Walker Buehler. Kershaw doesn't have that many years left.
Wait, Mitch. Who are you going to miss that's going the other way in that trade?
Well, like you said, the guy Diego, that catcher.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know that guy if he walked by me on the street right now. I mean, that's the issue. I mean, prospects are suspect until you see him play. Here's Daniel in L.A. Hey, Daniel, would you do that deal if you were the Dodgers?
Hey, gentlemen, I would not.
Why?
And the reason is I don't think we have a pressing need for him. We've got CT3 coming back. We've got Belly and Gallo. And what I'm looking at is like 2007, 2008.
Yep.
We had a bunch of just young studs come through our system like Kershaw, Kemp, Loney. I think Ethier came over from the A's, Billingsley. If at least one or two of these guys turns into a stud, that's the reason why I wouldn't do it.
All right.
Okay.
But Juan Soto's already a stud.
He is already a stud. It's very interesting. Now, does it change your mind? The Dodgers, I think, have the 6th best farm system in baseball post-trade deadline.
Makes me more likely to give up the picks.
Well, then you're down with the Angels potentially. You're like down the list of teams with prospects.
Here's Ricky in Rialto. Hey, Ricky, you're on ESPN LA. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can I make one suggestion before I make my point?
Yeah.
We need to start talking about Better Call Saul. It is every Friday, every single Friday. Let's make a warning out that we about to talk about that show, and then we talk about it every Friday. Let's talk about that show. We got 2 weeks left.
Okay.
Well, anyways, yeah, we'll let it end. We'll let it end. Next Monday is the final episode of the entire series. And then what do you think, Mace?
Yes,
we'll give everybody 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
and then
4 or 5 days.
About it.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough, Ricky.
It's great though, Ricky.
Perfect.
We agree.
Yeah, we both saw last night's. Last night's is really good.
Fabulous, fantastic show. You guys put me on that show, so I appreciate it. Anyways, yes, baseball is really tricky. Any farm system I had, any team I represent, I'm trading for Juan Soto. He's a guaranteed player. I'll trade anything guaranteed and some prospects I'm not going to know about. Just like when the Dodgers traded for Yu Darvish, there's a lot of news that they traded too much, but those players that they traded for Yu Darvish ain't nothing. So, anyways, go Padres. Let's go.
There you go.
Padres.
Well, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
about.
But of all the people Andrew Friedman has ever traded, the only one he really got burned by was Yordan Alvarez. Everybody else has been, you can live with it.
So here's Bobby Dago. 10-1, 1.73 ERA, 150 strikeouts, and 101 innings at Tulsa. That's the guy I wouldn't deal.
Any of them. Any prospect for Juan Soto, take him.
Say anybody.
Yeah. It's Juan Soto. But let's see. The Padres emptied their farm system. Let's see if it works. Mentioned.
How much better can the Dodgers actually get? They are so friggin' good.
Yeah, the Mets scare me, though.
Mets are very good. And I like their 1-2 starters. And yesterday I said something about Chris Bassett not just being a guy. Chris Bassett he allowed 1 run last night. He threw a shutout the game before. So Bassett is a really solid 3. A series between the Dodgers and Mets would be a great showdown.
What you teased some sound.
Oh, yeah. Case Keenum.
Okay.
So Case Keenum is in the Buffalo Bills camp. Yes, that Case Keenum. You remember 2016? He was the quarterback for the Rams at the Coliseum. So Case Keenum was doing a goof here. And we have it here, Jorge? Okay, so he decided, well, I think he explains it. Go ahead and hit it.
Case Keenum here. I'm going to see today how many autographs I can get from my teammates. Let's go Bills.
Puts on a disguise.
Hey, Isaiah, man, can I get your autograph, man? I've been a big fan of yours, man. Ever since you was in college, man. Will you do it one more time for
They
me,
have
man?
no idea
It's kind of hard to read.
Is this Case? I'm about to get you twice.
Hey, Case, can I get your autograph, man? Hey, man, you're my favorite player, man.
And you guys have no idea who they're even
they're not
signing
even
for.
looking at him.
That's great.
He's got a bucket hat on and a pair of sunglasses, and he's just walking up to his teammates saying, "Hey, man, you're my favorite player.
You're my
Will you sign
favorite
this?"
player. Will you please sign this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Case Keenum has hung around a long time, man. Long time. Still playing. You know, we're talking about quarterbacks. Did you see I don't know if you saw this or not, the 49ers depth chart at quarterback?
Do they have Jimmy G basically at the bottom?
Fourth string.
Yeah.
No, they've sent them. Jimmy G is definitely, and they gave him permission to seek out a trade.
Right.
Apparently, he hasn't been able to do it. Seattle would seem to be a perfect match because they're going into the year with nobody at quarterback.
Although I was on a talk show the other day with two guys in San Francisco, and they said they won't trade him to Seattle or the Rams.
I believe that
because it's within division, and they just won't do it.
Yeah, I believe that.
I said, who cares? They trade him to Seattle. Seattle's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think there's weirdly there's just not a market for Jimmy G.
Well, you know who I would. There's one team.
Great backup quarterback, right? He'd be a killer backup.
Forget that. There's one team that should trade for him right now. Of all the divisions in football, the one that is wide open is the NFC East.
Right.
All right. The Cowboys have consistently underachieved with Dak. The Commanders aren't any good, and they're bringing in Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is going to play quarterback in Philadelphia.
Why do you always bag on Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is going to be great in Philadelphia. Was great last year.
If I had to pick a team to win that division right now, I would take the Eagles.
Yeah, me too.
But if I was the Giants or the Steelers, one of the Mara families,
can I just be honest though, John?
I would trade for Jimmy G.
I know, but they've just gone out and got new quarterbacks. They've spent big draft picks on these guys. Kenny Smallhands Pickett and who's the other one that you suggested?
Trubisky?
No. What's the other team?
Giants. Daniel Jones is terrible.
Jones is the guy they believe in.
No, they don't believe in him.
Yeah.
This is his last year. If they start 0-4, he's Sam Darnold.
Like if you're going to draft young quarterbacks, you have to actually give them an opportunity to play. That's what the Niners are doing with Trey Lance.
Right, but the Giants have already given Daniel Jones a chance to play. Trubisky had a chance in Chicago. Smallhand Kenny is just a guy.
Well, now it's Justin Fields in Chicago.
Right. But I'm just saying, Giants and Steelers don't have a quarterback. And Jimmy G's just sitting there. Go give up a third-round pick and go get him.
You have to pay, but then you have to pay him, right? If you
not right away. He's under contract for this year. See how he does.
How much you got to pay Jimmy G?
Well, you don't have to pay him anything if he doesn't.
If he gets cut.
Right.
But if you were to trade him, he makes $27.5 million. So you can't trade for him.
Pay him for 1 year. And then just say after this year, you don't. I mean, he's in the last year of a deal, right? So why not try? Doesn't Jimmy G give you a better chance to win than Daniel Jones or than Kenny Pickett? At least Jimmy G has a winning percentage that's like 73%. He's a functional quarterback that wins games.
I think you said it. He's a functional quarterback.
Well,
Cannot throw the deep ball to save his life.
Wait a minute. Last year, if that defensive back from the Niners doesn't drop that Matthew Stafford pass, the Niners are in the Super Bowl.
Games are always like that. That's
right, but it would have been the second trip to the Super Bowl for Jimmy G in 4 years. Jimmy G is good. He's a good quarterback, He's not a problem. I would take.
Well, obviously, he's not good enough for the Niners to commit to him.
Correct. So if I were them, I think Jimmy G should be in Pittsburgh or with the Giants.
I want to see Kenny Smallhands Pickett get a chance. You're right. Giants are a different situation. Daniel Jones, this is year 4
yeah,
for Daniel
and
Jones.
Just hasn't done anything. Now, your logic applies to the Jets. I mean, they
right. They've used Zach Wilson
with the second
but
pick.
I mean,
Zach Wilson's out there sleeping with his mom's best friend and stirring it up in New York. Let's give him a chance.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Exactly.
Or if that was. Jimmy G.
We're all looking for pictures of that woman.
Yeah, no, nobody's seen her.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what she looks
Nobody's
like.
ID'd her.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's gone underground.
Jimmy G, what did he do? 12 interceptions, 20 touchdowns last year. That's okay.
Right.
He's an okay
better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. Better than Daniel Jones. All right. Don't forget lie of the day. Have I told it yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't caught anything. Jorge, have you caught anything?
Maybe. I think so.
Okay.
You think you have?
I think I got something.
You got something?
I think I got something.
Okay.
Something small.
Something small.
My sense is he's already done it, but I can't pinpoint what it was.
Your sense is correct.
Okay.
I will tell you that.
All right.
All right, coming up next for you, we've got a fantastic paid internship program here at 710 ESPN with the Good Karma folks, new owners, and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to be joined by one of our interns who's had a great time, has been unbelievable, valuable to the station over the last month, especially with the Mandy Awards and the softball game and all that stuff. We'll bring Quinn in here next and talk a little bit about that. If you have any interest, if you, the kid in your life who's going to college or whatever is looking for a fall paid internship, this would be the place because these guys, our 4 interns, got a great experience, I think. So we'll do that coming up next. Plus, Serena Williams evolving out of tennis, not retirement, evolving out of tennis. We'll get to that coming up too. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station.
most common. So
what nationality are you?
Vietnamese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So how has this experience been for you, being an intern at You've done a great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Now, Quinn, first of all, let's ask you this. When you signed up for it, is it what you expected or is it different?
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I am not even from LA. I'm from the DC area, but I've always known I wanted to work in sports, and all I know about working in sports is that the day-to-day is never the same. So it has been what I expected in terms of that. Like, no day here has been the same. It's never been boring, but I also just don't know. I didn't know, like, what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what it was like working for an LA radio station or even just working in the professional sports industry. So it's been really fun just seeing, the community that you guys have and also the LA sports, industry as a whole.
Right. So who's the person here at the station that you like working with the least?
You have
I'm
to
not
answer.
answering that.
Oh, come on.
No, you got to. Who is it? Give us a name.
How about the best? What host what on-air person do you have the most respect for after the
The most
internship?
I have respect for all of you guys.
So political.
Chicken.
I'm from DC.
So political.
There you, by the way,
Tell the truth.
Who turned you on to this? Like, how did you find out about it?
Yeah. So actually, my professor, I go to the University of Virginia, and my professor actually had Emily Hebel. On Travis and Slee.
Oh, yeah.
And so Emily sent her the job description, and then my professor sent it over to me. And my professor actually also freelances with ESPN, so it was kind of perfect. But yeah, that's how I found out about it. I applied immediately. I got on the phone with Janice and Carlo, and then Tommy called me the next week. And within 2 weeks, Tommy called me and was like, hey, like, can you move to LA in 2 weeks? You got the job. And I was like, I'll do it.
Cool.
I'll do it.
What was the highlight?
You moved here specifically to do this?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah. I've always wanted to work in sports. Yeah. It's been great.
So what's the highlight of the whole thing?
I was thinking about this recently because it's my last week and I'm leaving to go back to school soon. I would say one of the highlights was definitely getting to photograph the LAFC game.
Oh, yeah. You got to go down the field and stuff?
Yes, it was great. I've been a photographer for all my life. And so getting to do my first professional sports game was honestly one to remember.
Yeah.
I would also say another highlight was Clinton Yates got me to FaceTime Jeff Passan. I'm a huge baseball fan.
Wow, no kidding.
And he texted me the day of the home run derby, and he's like, hey, like, what are you doing right now? I'm going to FaceTime you in 10 minutes. I'm with Jeff Passan, and he wants to say hi to you. And
How
it
great
was,
is that?
Oh, that's
it was
great.
so cool.
That's great.
Jeff Passan is on my, Dead or Alive dinner list.
Yeah.
So he's on that. So I was like, this is just, it was a 2-second
Wait,
phone
man,
call.
he would really be in your Dead or Alive dinner list?
I mean, yeah.
What is, Jeff?
Who are the other two people?
Jeff Passan
you,
and Jesus?
Jeff Passan?
Anthony Rizzo, huge Cubs fan.
Okay.
Anthony Rizzo. And then I have Meryl Streep on there. I love Meryl
Okay,
Streep.
those two go together.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Passan, Meryl Streep. That'd be the weirdest dinner ever.
But I think it'd be fun. It's my dinner.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great conversation.
Which of the hosts here at 710 ESPN do you think is the smartest?
You guys always ask these questions.
Actually, I ask these
Okay,
questions.
you're right. Mason always asks these questions. I cannot answer that.
Yeah, you can't
wait
answer.
a minute. We awarded most knowledgeable host at the Mandy's.
Yeah.
Isn't that, by definition, the smartest? Do you remember who won that?
No, I don't remember who won that.
It was a blur.
So long ago. But you know what?
It was me,
I would
way.
say it was you. Yeah, I was
Most
gonna say,
knowledgeable is John, yeah.
I would have to say, if you didn't, I don't know, if I was there, if I wasn't there.
Well, you guys were working. But that's one thing about this internship. Like, people that, and Carlo just said, if you want to apply for the next round, we're looking for people to do what Quinn did in the next round. You go to ESPNLA.com and you can get the details.
Yeah, I'm retweeting that right now. ESPN LA just tweeted out that information.
So, Quinn, what advice would you give someone who is considering following in your footsteps?
Oh my gosh. I would say be open to every opportunity and just talk to people and just get to know them. That's been something that I've found not only benefited my career, but also just benefited myself. I've just loved getting to know everybody and figuring out what paths they went through, just because the paths in sports, at least, they're never the same. Everybody does different things, and I've talked to everybody at the station here. I talked to Jorge for so long. I talked to Carlo, Tommy. I talked to you guys about how you guys got into the positions you're in.
Right.
And nobody's had the exact same path, and it's also just about the experiences and your attitude about it. I think keeping a good attitude.
It's definitely a broken road getting where you want.
So what, Quinn, if I give you the genie in the bottle question, like a genie pops out, says you can have any career you want in sports? What's your dream career? Where what would you pick?
I would love to be a producer, director for live sporting events. I do that at Virginia. I've done replay, and I've directed a couple shows.
Cool.
With the ACC network over there, and I love doing that. I love wearing headphones and pressing buttons that nobody else knows what they mean, and calling games like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is a dream of mine.
So we've got three. We've got Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Shadano and Cappy. Which is the coolest show to work on?
Definitely your show. Definitely your guys' show.
And when she goes on with Sedano and Cap later,
I'm like, oh yeah, definitely Sedano and Cap.
She's learned well.
Yes, she has.
All right, which one of the other interns is the biggest jerk? Of the other three. Yeah. It's Brady, right?
Let's say all of them.
Yeah, all of them. There you go.
Let's go with all of them.
Well, listen.
You guys, we loved you guys. You guys were like, this is the first time we've ever really put all the interns to work full time. And you guys had great attitudes about the whole thing.
Yes.
What are you studying at Virginia? Is this going to be your junior year?
It'll be my senior year. My fourth year. That's what we say at Virginia.
Okay. And what are you studying?
I'm a media studies major. I have a film concentration, but I'm also a music major. I'm a double major just for fun.
You sound smart.
Yeah,
you're really
smarter than us.
Yeah,
hey,
you're
by the way,
than me.
Virginia has an honor code. Do kids actually follow it?
Yes, and it's actually something that's really interesting about it because I've left my laptop outside buildings by itself, like nobody's watching it, for hours and hours, and I feel totally comfortable doing it.
Really? So most students honor the honor code.
Oh, yeah.
What is the honor code?
So it's this thing.
Can't lie, cheat, or
you
steal.
can't lie, cheat, or steal. We sign it on the top of our tests or exams. It's something that, when you get to the school and you go through convocation, you, physically sign these papers. So there's, these documents going back and back because it's such an old school of, people signing this.
Well, here's my advice. So if you really want to be in this business, you've got to lie, steal, and cheat. Right? I mean, that's really what you need. So you got to throw away the honor code the moment you leave Virginia.
Right. As soon as I graduate. And you know what? When you graduate Virginia, they say you've worn the honor of honors. Honor code. I'm just going to throw it away after, I guess.
There you go.
There you go. If you go into sports media. Well, Quinn, thank you. You've been great.
Thank
and
you
I hope you had fun while you were
representing all the interns, Brady,
come
Parker,
back and see us.
Amada. Come back and see us.
It's been a total dream. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
guys.
Awesome. All right, that's very cool.
And if you want to be the next Quinn, go to ESPNLA.com and you can apply because we're looking for interns for the fall.
For the fall, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what would it run from September through December kind of thing?
Something like
roughly?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly.
So it's probably people that, if they're college interns, they're probably got to be people that go to school locally.
Yes, you have to go to school. You have to get college credit for it.
Got it. Okay, cool. Good. It's a great program. It's a great program.
And these four have been awesome.
Yeah, they're
Amana and Quinn and Brady and Parker.
Three of them have been fantastic, and the other one is Brady.
Brady's going back. Well, here's the thing. Quinn's going back to Virginia to complete her studies.
Yep.
Brady's going back to Wisconsin to drink.
Yeah.
So he's a Badger.
Yeah.
So
nice.
He'll be
Madison's a fun town.
Yeah, he'll be jumping around, House of Pain jumping around at the football games.
All right, coming up next for you, we're going to do some Bobcat. Bergman, you work up a good Bobcat for us today?
I mean, it's all right.
All right, we will do it. Coming up next for you, Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
women's tennis player ever.
Yes.
Better than Chris Everett, better than Martina, better than anybody who's...
Steffi Graf.
All of them. If you were going to rank them, Serena is better than her sister, better, and so, Mace, if she wanted to go into the broadcast booth, she could do it.
Yep.
If she wanted to be the commissioner of tennis, I mean, she's the Wayne Gretzky of women's tennis. The sky is the limit for her.
I like the way she's sort of set this up because the U.S. Open will now kind of be her farewell tournament. I mean, she's unlikely to win it, right? I don't know tennis, but does she have a chance to win the U.S. Open?
Probably not.
Yeah.
She's probably aged out of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just being there, it depends because what happens is so many women's tennis players have dropped out, you know, and just aren't playing for whatever reason. And so if she gets the right draw, she could get lucky.
Right.
But I don't think she'll win it. I think she'll just probably make it to the quarters and bow out. But even if she does, she still goes down as the greatest tennis player ever. Naomi Osaka is the best tennis player, but they've been taking a lot of tournaments off.
Yeah. But the thing with Serena that's amazing to me is here she is, 41 years old. She has had a tennis racket in her hands basically her entire life from the time she's a little kid. And it must be impossibly weird to think about that ending, right?
Right. But, she's played longer than – she's
yeah.
Is she 40?
41.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Nobody ever plays that late in tennis.
Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Are you guys paying attention, or are you just?
You can do that one, Jorge. I'll
I'll
find something else. It's okay. This is going to make this Bobcat very interesting, though. So Steve Lavin is the new head coach at San Diego State, and he just brought in his new staff. Tyus Edney of UCLA.
By the way, let me correct you for a second, Greg. He's not at San Diego State. He's at the University of San Diego.
My bad. I didn't
he's
think
at
they
USD.
He's USD. Okay,
yeah, different school. But go ahead.
That's even worse. At USD. And Tyus Edney of UCLA fame is going to be on that staff.
Yeah.
The issue was that two of the assistants he let go were guys that stayed on the staff before Lavin came on. They brought in 12 of the recruits that are on the team right now, and he just let them go in the end of July, making it basically impossible for them to jump on another staff. How do you feel about this move by Lav?
It happens all the time in this business. For example, all of Frank Vogel's assistants were working through June. Most of them are not coming back because they were paid. They needed people to work out the potential draft picks. They needed people to do that. It's the nature of the business.
But the timing seems bad.
Well,
Awful.
The Lakers assistants all worked until the end of June, just like these guys.
But you don't think they knew that they were out?
I think all you're promised when you change coaching staffs is you'll have a chance to interview with the new coach.
Okay.
The new coach gets to pick. And one thing, I like Lav a lot. No, I'll be rooting for him, but
I won't.
You don't like Steve Lavin?
He does not. He's a UCLA fan.
I like him a lot.
UCLA people got all spoiled and stuff.
But the rap against him, Greg, as you remember, is that his assistants at UCLA were all his old buddies. He didn't really have hardcore assistants that I like the fact that he's hiring Tyus Edney, who
that's cool.
Played for
him. He was
on
the staff at UCLA,
right? But Tyus played for Steve too, and so I have no problem with him letting these guys go. I think it happens at every. You have to be allowed to hire your own assistants, and you got to have people you trust.
The problem was that one of the guys said that he gave up other opportunities because he thought he was staying on the staff.
Well, did Lav promise him a job?
I don't know the full. Don't know. But he said he turned down other opportunities.
Well, that was his decision. If I don't have a
where is Lav coach? He coached UCLA, St. John's,
and now USD.
Yeah,
he went to work.
Is there something under that he can go to?
Well, his dad was a high school coach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was a high school coach in San
cool.
Francisco.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you guys are down on him. I like him.
Yeah, what do you have against
Baron
Steve
Davis, when they went to the Elite Eight, said, it was something along the lines of, we made it to the Elite Eight without a coach.
Yeah, I would
because he was not a good coach.
Yeah, I don't know if Baron would say that today, but I
don't know if he would say it now, but he said it back then.
The one thing I will say, USD is not a bad job.
No, that's where Jim Harbaugh was the coach for a while, wasn't he?
Well, Bernie Bickerstaff came out of there. Mike Brown went to USD.
Yep.
They've got a long history of winning, and that could be a good. Hank Egan, who was the coach there for a really long time, then went on to the NBA, was one of Popovich's lead assistants. That could be a good job for Lavin. I hope he wins.
Dog.
What you got, Jorge?
All right, so Yandy Diaz from the Tampa Bay Rays claims that his hotel and other teammates of his claim that is it Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee? Is it the Pfister?
Yep.
Yes, the Pfister.
I've been to the fabulous Pfister many times.
So is it really haunted, and do
Yes.
you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, it is a haunted. There are 2 haunted hotels in the NBA: the Pfister in Milwaukee, and the Hilton, the Skirvin Hilton in Oklahoma City. And we no longer, and when I say we, the Lakers, no longer stay in either hotel because, as Michael